What's happening, everybody? Coming to you live from the internet. Welcome to Smash at VESL. Alongside Kevin with the K, I'm Stu, the announcer, and thank you for joining us here on all the VESL channels. Kevin, we got ourselves some great Smash action coming up. Some of the best high school players from around the region going at it, and it's going to be a clash in the Carolinas. You already know what's going down.
Oh, yeah. We're starting off with Northside versus Havelock. This is the same teams that we saw match. It's a little bit older in terms of skill level. Usually the best at that game. Smash, however, not the case. Usually the best players are somewhere between the ages of 17 and 22. So I do expect us to see some incredibly high-level gameplay, though we are starting with a very low-tier character in Tony's Little Mac versus Braden's Kazuya.
It's funny. People say that about Little Mac all the time, but this is a character, especially when you're talking about Omega Hollow Bastion or something with no platforms where you can't really get caught out. You get him on flat ground. There are very few people that can trade punches with Little Macs. You don't exactly want to be boxing with a boxer, you know what I mean? And one of the few characters that could potentially combat that is, of course, the Iron Fist of Kazuya Mishima. We're seeing right here, well done on the combinations thus far, but still piling on the damage. You do not want to underestimate Little Mac by any means.
Yeah, there's definitely an interaction here where Little Mac has some pretty decent frame data against Kazuya's normally pretty terrible out-of-shield options. He doesn't really have a way to punish Little Mac for throwing like a smash attack. Ooh, but taking him all the way down low, just decides to go for a full reset here. Don't know if that was necessarily the right choice. All you have to do is get Little Mac off stage. Kazuya has plenty of ways to deal with the recovery.
Nothing like a little mutually assured destruction on both parties' accounts, but this Little Mac still, I mean, you gotta just throw out those big, heavy punches because you do want, at the very least, to debase Kazuya. But, there is nothing that you can do about that in the air. The thing about Little Mac, you know you want to keep your feet on the ground because you can swing away, but when you're up in the air, you are fully in the wings of the devil, and Braden showing that right there. Havelock is on the board with that one, and it's a 2-1 advantage for the Mishima Zaibatsu, if you want to call it that, but Braden at the head of it right now.
Swinging away with these forward smashes, he's figured out the secret sauce that Kazuya cannot punish the smash attacks. However, if you make a poor movement option, Havelock's Kazuya is going to be right there. Ooh, the shield is getting real low. It's going to shield poke before the shield actually goes down. KO Punch is online, and it's a good way to reset the stock.
Oh!
And exactly that is what Northside did. Now, how do you get back into this game? First of all, don't get Electric Wind God Fist. Second of all, yes, get that shield real low. Down angled forward smash will break that right away, but it looks like it's a little bit too afraid.
He got it!
He
got the shield break!
Why does he jab? Oh no, I mean, he wasn't necessarily high percentage enough to kill off of anything, but a fully charged neutral B, a fully charged, I mean, that might have taken it.
It's the shield pressure. I don't know if he had the time for the full charge, the whole thing, and maybe Braden having time to be cognizant of that, but that's the whole thing. You keep that shield pressure on. You keep him in the shield, and all of a sudden, you're getting stuff off of grab. The Wind God Fists are just whiffing, and that's the whole thing. Braden is swinging away, and Tony has the quickness to take care of it. You don't need to be going for these up Bs on stage. You can take them with your fists and your wits. Braden now in shield, but that's how you got yourself in trouble last time. Gonna start dashing in and out, and the Heaven's Door almost slamming on the hopes of Tony, but is able to make it back. This is on the grab. This is trouble for Braden here, Kevin.
KO Punch is online, not that it's necessarily needed, but you catch Braden holding shield constantly. Braden's got to stop holding shield because shield breaks galore are present, but more importantly, KO Punch that's grounded goes straight through.
And we're going right into game number 2, wanting that run back immediately, and who can blame him, as we're going to a slightly larger stage in Omega Town and City. Going to start off with the 10-hit combos, really fiending on those, and I kind of wonder, like, there was room for Tony to even improve, because you saw him going with these 10-hit combos, just swinging at air, and if Tony is able to utilize the ground speed that Mac has, because look, I mean, Lil Mac is no slowpoke. He made it to the top of the WVBA for a reason there, Kevin, but that's the sort of ground speed that you can utilize in order to really punish a lot of these whiffs that Braden seems to be throwing out, because you have that power, but you need to use it judiciously.
Yeah, and we are playing on these Omega stages. It doesn't look like we're actually going to get any sort of stage switch up. So, yes, it's essentially the exact same stage. No extra length added because it's just Omega, which means everything goes to FD length. But that also means that you have FD's proportions. Those ceilings are fairly shallow, which could be good for Kazuya here. If you can maybe get the combo right there into the up B. I don't think that's going to happen. Tony is holding down stage and needs to keep that live. Oh, but you can't just throw that jab out because Braden's air dodge in is going to punish it straight away.
And now, just trying to work through and find a way back into this one. Again, Kazuya is not one to give up the lead so easily. He will hold on to it, excuse the pun, with an iron fist, but that jab at ledge. And this is where stage selection comes in, Kevin, because Omega Town and City, that comes in handy because that is a real short distance from the ledge to the blast zone. It takes just a pinch in order to get what you need. And pinch is what Little Mac can get every now and then. Those jabs, they can do you in real quick.
KO Punch is online and lets it rip to keep the stock advantage. 120% if he gets sent off stage. Should be an easy edge guard, but it might not even be needed as an up air comes out. You know he likes to follow with that up air. Baits out the air dodge very nicely and actually closes it out with the double wings.
I mean, what a way for Tony to get himself back into this matchup. I mean, you talk to him at the beginning of this game and say, hey, it's going to be neutral ground for one stock. And that's perfectly fine with him, I would think. But, oh no, now you're at a real tough way. You got this KO punch online, and it's dangerous. You're kind of waiting for it. He's measuring it. He's picking his spot and is going to look for it, and indeed gets it. Waited for the shield to drop, and it is going to be the KO punch. Stick and move, Mac. You got this one, and we're talking about these low tiers. It's not quite working like that, but that could give a little bit of hope, you would think, to Sai, as they're going to take on Sharkern's Bowser with Kirby, another character that is often overlooked in today's meta.
Yep, absolutely overlooked is right. We have two lesser played characters towards the middle to the lower tiers, if you're talking about the official tier list, but we're playing High School League, where ultimately all that matters is skill. Now, we did see some nice damage coming out here, but Bowser's so heavy that honestly this is basically an even game.
Yeah, and you talk about, oh well, this is this official tier list, you can't really win tournaments with this character. There are multiple examples of this character being successful at a relatively high level. Sharkern is going to take the L on that first stock, and the burning hammer cracking the shell of Bowser. That's a whole 44% damage. I mean, very good examples of high level play for both these characters. Kirby with Jaja, a very prominent player from Oregon, and one of the most prominent Bowsers in the world in this game, Leon from the great state of New Jersey, who has interacted with the North Carolina professional scene a few times on end, but that was smart from Sharkern, realizing that the stone had to give way eventually and time the smash attack as such. That's how you're going to do it with Bowser. It's going to be with your muscle and, frankly, through your absurd hitboxes.
A lot of inhale play here. There seems to be a lot of special play coming out from Northside's Kirby. Loving the inhale, loving the stone, like you just mentioned, and right there, that hammer flip, is a real big love. Now, both of them are just kind of playing around here, which I love to see. Just feeling each other out, throwing out moves, and seeing who gets hit by what. Both of them loving the down Bs respectively. Just throwing it out.
I mean, why not? You have it, so we'll say it is easy to adapt to if you're able to catch on, but Sai right now says, you know what, if he's not able to hit the fastball, then what am I really worried about? But Sharkern from Havelock saying, hey, you know what, I've got something that I can hit right there, and it's going to be the drop kick that finds the mark. Sai, oh my gosh.
We don't have to worry about any of Havelock's Bowser using flying slam suicide kills because, well, for multiple reasons. Multi-jumps into air cutter from Kirby is a pretty far vertical recovery, but moreover, you don't have the stock advantage. So you're going to have to find some fair and square damage before going for any sort of big kill confirms like that. Flying Slam is a good way to deal some damage, though.
Exactly. I mean, it's always going to work, especially when you want to give yourself a little bit of positional advantage off of a command grab. It's certainly nice to have. And I don't know about getting Flame Breath there. I think you just kind of discard it. I think you get a lot more leverage out of neutral B, just vacuum. But I'm going to just drop a rock on your head as well. Fire and Brimstone from this Kirby, and Northside is going to get on the board with this one. Sai, well done on the KO. As we're going to see a little bit more action from Braden and Tony, who are still going at it. 2-1 advantage for Havelock thus far, as we are coming into this game at 2 stocks apiece. Kazuya, toughest boxer he's had to face is Steve Fox for sure, and still garnering that positional advantage, this time on Omega Battlefield.
Just to give you a quick update on the scoreline, it is 2-1. We skipped right over round 3, but it is important to note that Havelock is up against Northside in these battles here. Braden and Tony going back at it again, like you mentioned. And what is now an even 2-stock versus 2-stock. Looking for some confirms here. Love that. Waiting for the air dodge and sending the forward smash. Not quite enough to kill a heavyweight like Kazuya. Backing up and resetting neutral is the right choice. Oh, but you can't just do that right in the face of Kazuya, or Rage Drive will take you right down.
The Devil Gene comes forth yet again, and Heaven's Door slamming on the face of yet another opponent. Not where you want to be if you're a Little Mac. You want to stay grounded, but I mean, maybe a little ambitious looking for these hitboxes while Braden goes for the grabs. A little bit of spaghetti, if we're being completely honest, Kevin. But then again, these are the sorts of head games that these characters can play with you. And now, this Kazuya in very real danger of getting KO'd off of the side, even by a tilt attack.
I'm interested to why they keep going to Omega stages if that's their, gentleman's agreement here. That's basically an impossible angle to recover as from Little Mac, by the way. There's no way that you can get back there. I mean, you can try, and you can immediately use your Jolt Haymaker to try to get closer to, and then like a down air jump back to extend, and then maybe you're close enough to up into the ledge, but again, it's probably not happening. That angle's too difficult for Roy to recover from, let alone Little Mac.
Well, either way, that's another point on the board for Havelock, and not a bad way to be, all things considered. That Little Mac was giving you all sorts of trouble to start things off, but now that the game has settled down just a little bit, you've maybe got a little bit of a better read. You're not making as many mistakes. You're not giving this Little Mac as many holes to as many opportunities to counterpunch. Which, I mean, makes sense. You're a small fighter. You really do have to be a counterpuncher, maybe relying on your opponent to swing first, as you would in real boxing. But Braden, yeah, a real heavyweight contender here with the head of the Mishima Zaibatsu, and staying off stage, and a move denoting of his status, the Devil Wings taking flight and taking the first stock.
Ooh, a little bit of delay there. But Devil Blaster actually taking out KO Punch is what enabled Braden to get back to stage and re-aggress. So a nice little interaction from before is actually what gave Braden the lead here, and Tony's having a real big trouble getting back stage. Finally gets KO Punch, decides not to rip it right there, goes for forward smash. Probably would like to save it for the next stock if possible, but that Devil Blaster is a dangerous way to get rid of it, so you probably just want to dump it while you can to get a guaranteed kill. You don't want to get hit by Rage Drive. Oh, heartbreaking.
Braden and Tony have been going at it from the very beginning, and another Heaven's Door. Goodness gracious. You want to know the difference between you and I? I get a final smash and you don't. It's not really a final smash, but let's be real, it ostensibly is, Kevin, as Kazuya taking the 3-1 stock lead. It's made 2-1, but really, goodness me, this Kazuya, an iron grip on this one.
I like that Braden understands some of the combos that Kazuya can go for, but is choosing not to utilize them all the time, just going for more of a regular neutral advantage state playstyle, not going for the 100 or the 0 to deaths, because they're not as guaranteed if you don't have the execution. Just waiting things out and getting great openings like that is a fantastic place to be, and unfortunately, using your jump first is not the way to recover his Little Mac. So Braden takes that one. Havelock is up.
Yeah, and it's a tough way to go out if you are the Little Mac, because you showed such promise going into that. But really, again, it was you do have the luxury to slow down and adapt. You have the comeback tools necessary. You have the means to garner an advantage so quickly with the Rage Art. It's Akasia realizing that privilege and being able to employ it to great effect. And Kevin, sometimes that's just what you got to do. If you're going to tier him out, tier him out. There is absolutely no shame in it.
Absolutely. I think that really is kind of what it came down to. Yes, both players were probably pretty similar in experience level. Being a Kazuya and understanding Electric Wind God Fist combos is obviously a major boon to your playstyle, but he didn't even utilize that to its fullest extent. He instead chose to play the neutral exactly as it should be played as any character. That playstyle would have worked no matter what character you're playing. You could have been playing Luigi, you could have been playing, Marth. It doesn't really matter. I think in either case, he would have won without being on Kazuya.
So, hey, you know what? It's not so much about the character, but about the individual piloting it. It was good stuff from Havelock to get themselves back into this. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go away. We've got more Smash action here at VESL.
See you soon.
Welcome back to Smash at VESL. Alongside Kevin with a K, I'm Stu, the announcer. And getting back into it, I mean, we saw some pretty interesting action going back and forth. And a lot of, and again, you get an idea of what the level of play that you're getting. It really is, players of all levels for certain, but also all kinds of characters, which make for some really interesting interactions where you got like a Steve going up against like a Little Mac, or a Kazuya going up against a Little Mac, as we saw. And you just get all sorts of things and all kinds of blades crossing. And now, speaking of blades crossing, Link versus Byleth, something that you do not see very often at the top level of play. But that's what we're getting as we have New Bern facing off against Washington.
Yep, playing on Battlefield. Something we got to keep in mind for all of these games is that they are played online. So the delay is going to favor, in my opinion, it's going to favor the Byleth. It's kind of a little bit more free to throw out random aerials and run away, or even smash attacks, like a lot of variable options. That said, though, both players have that luxury to throw out smash attacks.
Yeah, we're going to see now the Link certainly not helpless in this situation, where you can get to control that neutral space with the boomerang. That down air stays out for approximately 5 million years. It's a pretty effective means to just kind of control the pace of the game, and we're seeing that right now. This Byleth kind of just swinging at invisible swordsmen as the Link making himself scarce and really just putting the hitboxes where they need to be. Pretty intelligent gameplay that led him to taking the first stock. This is Game Zone, who took that first stock with only 44% damage points suffered.
Yeah, it's really difficult now to get in. I like that Game Zone's kind of just playing on the ground and throwing out up smashes whenever you're worried about like Byleth falling on Nair or something like that. And the projectile game is, of course, going to favor Link over Byleth. So being able to wall it out, play neutral, kind of circle camp a little bit is definitely a good option there. But that guy JC gets a nice dash attack to force Game Zone far and away. Thinking that they could get back, not going for any sort of bomb reset. Unfortunate, but it is going to even up the stocks.
Yeah, and now rolling through, you're seeing Game Zone is just kind of pacing it out, not really needing to engage or interact, because you have so many options that outrange even Byleth, where you have that bow and arrow, you have the boomerangs. That's there for supplementary damage, and also should be noted that boomerang, a potential combo starter when you see that knockback. It's very good for pursuing fair, but now, oh man, this is what you don't want to see as a Byleth, is that when they start really swinging away with the specials and the smash attacks, because that's when you open yourself up for some really bad combinations. Even though one does land, giving the stock lead, it's really just a matter of time if this Link is able to maintain their movement.
Very nice, sort of the creative there, almost comboed out of it, but Game Zone is suddenly on the back foot, a stock down 70%, trying to get back to stage, but a red bar comes out, makes it really difficult to come back. You do see a large spinning slash to actually secure that kill. That guy, you see him not quite get a jump or air dodge back in quick enough. Jump is down there, and he does use that spinning slash so early. Unfortunately, because of the delay, that guy JC just couldn't get there to punish it. Trying to close this out, so desperate.
An interesting development that we're seeing here, because all of a sudden you're seeing this Link get just a little greedy and maybe relying on forward smashes a little too much. And see, you're swinging at the exact wrong thing, and you're getting punished for it. That's the way that it is sometimes. When you get into a position where you're needing to adjust, where you're getting turned around, and all of a sudden you're swinging at nothing, that's where Byleth really shines, and that's where you're seeing things like directional air dodge maybe come in handy for that guy JC, who played a pretty good game number one, even if he was kind of prone to mistakes to start things off.
100% agree with you there. Starting into the second game, a little bit of a delay here, but players are making it work. Yeah, and we see this is exactly what Game Zone's game plan was before. Circle camp, run around, throw boomerang, throw arrows, and then when you get to center stage and you see that you're getting approached by the Byleth, throw up smash out. But the speed is in the favor of that guy JC right now, able to close some of the gap, but not able to close that damage gap.
With the boomerang. And again, just with this nickel and dime damage, but that's the thing, you're getting caught with up smash. That means you're still trying to swing a little heavy, and maybe more heavy than you really need to at 73 or 80%, because you're not guaranteed that KO. You're still in a pretty decent percentage to get off a few combos and get yourself a positional advantage. You don't really need to knuck up at that percentage. And now see, when you go for those little trips, those little tricky movements in between, like in and out of these platforms, all of a sudden you're getting a little bit more out of it. And it's only just now that guy JC is able to even things up at 2 stocks apiece with a well-placed down air.
Yeah, for all of the reads and the movement and game zone, ultimately just you throwing out up smash, trying to shark under that guy JC and hit up smash. You know, they evened up the stocks, and it's a fairly even damage as well. Game zone, again, if he can't shark underneath or if he's not prepared to shark with up smash, he'll just go to the edge and throw boomerang, throw arrow. Otherwise, it's back to the shark game plan. And it's working out for him pretty well. That guy JC is too afraid to hit the ground.
Yeah, all things considered, yeah, it's basically just playing the floor is lava. What are you going to do about it? The answer is respond. Well done to get back to the stage. And now a relatively even game at 2 stocks. Game zone dropping down. Okay, well, you're going to make him time out the... you actually had the play in mind, but you went for up smash. Those are those things. You need to be just a little bit more judicious about which attacks you're throwing out. And that guy JC... still getting peppered with some small damage, but a dash attack is going to win him just an ever so slight advantage, but a big attack scares Game Zone away from the ledge, and all of a sudden it's 2 stocks to 1, but for how long?
Yeah, I drifted just a little bit too far away. If that guy JC wants to continue being able to force the issue here, I think you just approach with short hop or full hop back air or forward air. If they go back and watch this, that's the best way to close the gap on this link that's just trying to shark underneath you. You keep falling with like a down air trying to connect, and they get it sometimes, but it's like 1 out of every 4, and the damage isn't quite there to make it worthwhile, especially when you sometimes just miss it entirely. And so Game Zone just gets underneath and gets a free up smash. And that's really fantastic, right? Bait out the up smash, drop down from the platform, and then go for an attack. That is a very effective strategy as well, but unfortunately, you can tell that guy JC is getting a little bit too impatient and not wanting to deal with boomerangs and arrows.
Yeah, now just continuing on with the standard of play that he has thus far shown. Game Zone, a little more steady, and there you go. A dash attack is going to be enough to take it. I kind of wonder if that guy JC could have maybe DI'd into the corner and kept that going just a little bit more, but lo and behold, Game Zone is going to take game number 2, and now we're going to have to see if that guy JC can respond in the 3rd match of the series.
Yeah, we're going to see that in just a moment. That was a well-played game from Game Zone. He stuck to a very linear game plan, but it worked out favorably for him. That was a very, very solid, very disciplined way to play, because if that guy JC can't figure out the counterplay, can't figure out how to close the gap, it's just going to work out for Game Zone. That's the difficulty with playing against a character that does have the potential to play a linear play style, is that it forces your opponent to adapt.
Yeah. And all of a sudden we have New Bern, Washington drawn up at 1 in this particular set, and we'll see what can possibly happen, but we're going to roll on with game number 3. And again, Game Zone carrying on, and carrying on as they're meant to be. But I don't know what it is about Washington's boy, that guy JC, that really, what do you think they can do in order to get this back on track? Because right now you're looking at the boomerang, you're looking at the arrows, is making that guy JC's life really not all that fun, and you got to find a way to get in and really utilize those heavy hitting weapons without getting just nickel and dime for all your damage.
To answer your question, the spear is a lot longer range than Link's sword is for up smash. So if you can walk in space, and I shouldn't say walk, I really should say short or full hops, so that you can get past the boomerang, if you can do that and space a forward air or space a back air, I mean, you're going to have a fantastic time. Link's not going to have anything to do to deal with that except for shield, and you're safe on shield. And it deals a lot of shield damage, so you can just follow that up with like a red bar to get some guaranteed like shield damage or possibly break the shield, or he might let go of shield after that, and then you just get a good stage position. So I think it's all about using your forward air and your back air and walking in with that or jumping in with that, and Game Zone won't know how to deal with that. However, I've yet to see a forward air or a back air come out from that guy JC, so I don't fully expect that to happen.
And still pulling on through is looking for the smash attacks. They are swinging away and not hitting anything. 3 stocks to 2. Game Zone right now looking good for the victory, but that guy JC, it's not like there isn't comeback potential here, and certainly you have the means to take this stock at right about this percentage. But can you even get in enough to do it, as Game Zone is going to have that guy JC land on the last hit of up smash as well. Keep in mind, these moves do stale, so that could very well be the difference between getting the KO and not. So Game Zone is going to have to vary it up, and that guy JC, first time we've seen that up smash in quite some time. That is going to be a full power up smash KO. And Game Zone not getting the same effectiveness out of that up smash due to staling, I think. That could very well be the difference here, Kevin.
Game Zone has just got the idea of what he wants to do, and he's just doing it. And that's going to definitely help, especially in an online situation where it's a lot harder to react to missed options. Although, this is the first time that guy JC has punished it well. Finally finds it because Game Zone did not grab the ledge with that spinning slash. Gets a nice forward smash to even up the stocks. That was essentially a 0 to death.
More or less, and that's the way to get back into this thing, but Game Zone now a little bit on the back heel, though, peppering on that damage again just a little bit. It's going to take a few heavy hits to really even this back up, and all of a sudden it's 2 swings of the spear and you're about halfway there. That guy JC certainly not out of this. The spear going to find its mark yet again, but the down air to follow up, and they are just trading blows in the middle of the stage. Game Zone with a slight advantage now, Kevin.
Throws the boomerang here. I think that guy JC has kind of figured out the secret sauce to how to win this, and it's that you don't need to be disciplined. You just need to throw out smash attacks until Game Zone knows how to deal with it. Game Zone finally dealing with the opponent throwing out a linear game plan instead of trying to adapt online, and it's proving difficult. Now, he's got the range. He's got the distance between himself and that guy JC. And that guy JC is too afraid to jump in. Oh, but it's going to be to the death of him as an up smash closes it out. So heartbreaking. Game Zone finds just the right amount of time and opening to run up and finish the game.
And what a well-done job from Game Zone, who, I mean, it was a really close match. You saw just how intense it was at the very end, but that ever so slight advantage we saw. That guy JC going for the reaching into the cookie jar a few too many times, and I think that was the difference. Just when you go for those heavy hits, they can be telegraphed, and yeah, telegraphed they were. That wound up being the difference for Game Zone. Just kind of kept on with the zoning. I mean, zone being very appropriate considering the tag, but as we were going to get on into it, anything but zoners here. We got the predominant grappler in the game, Tristram playing the Incineroar, as we got Trickster playing the Pithra.
I can't watch this. This is difficult, right? The delay is clearly more heavy here than it is anywhere else, with just massive lag spikes happening. It's not even consistent delay. It's just so slow that you can kind of throw out any sort of reactive gameplay out the window unless it's such a perfectly timed lag spike. Both of these players are going to have to figure out how to adapt, and that's part of the fun of playing online, is what do you do when this delay is too high for you to react? You have to put together a linear game plan or be prepared to react when you can. And see, that's a situation where you just didn't know how far they were going to go. The lag spike was a little bit too high for you to ever think about changing your mind after you started that forward smash.
I mean, welcome to the first bracket matchup to be played on dial-up, and this is a a little ridiculous, but at the same time, you know, if you want to slow things down, you would think that it favors, at the very least, the slower character who maybe doesn't have to react as quickly to rush down shenanigans like Pithra is able to throw out. So maybe advantage Incineroar as you're going to get the revenge and the dash attack knee to finish off that first stock of Trickster representing Washington High.
I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like that the connection has stabilized quite a bit. Oh, that's unfortunate. Going for just a little bit too low on the Photon Edge. Not able to grab the ledge, but using the Photon Edge a lot in neutral is a good way to get down damage. Not a good way to finish off a stock. So throwing out the forward smash as the lag spikes start again, but that actually might have just been a visual bug as Tristram is putting on the pressure. Recovery here should be doable. Oh, but that was a very nice blazing end. Still can come right back, cross drops back to ledge. Forward smash is not going to connect, trying to get this hard punish because you have to go for something crazy if you want to close out the stock, let alone catch back up. And one stock difference is now all that separates Tristram and Trixie.
Yeah, you got that counter, you have revenge sort of on deck, and it was utilized to pretty decent effect. I mean, it doubles whatever attack you throw out. So even if you're just getting a jab or a tilt attack off, those tilts are still plenty powerful enough to KO at the right percentage. But almost a full stock lead now as this Incineroar is going to try to get this. Well done on maintaining the space there by Trickster. Maybe catching on to it a little late, but catching on nonetheless. Well dodged there by Tristram, who is, wise to avoid the blade of Pyra for sure. That thing hits plenty heavy and sitting at 154%. That is one angry cat, and the rage is only going to pile on even more. It's going to be a fair, and now looking for the KO and finds it off of the side. Well done by this Incineroar to get the KO and get the victory. And yeah, you're talking about being able to pursue in air. It's enough to switch to get Trickster to switch off onto another character. So we'll have to see if Kirby is able to fare any better.
Yeah, so able to edge guard the Incineroar pretty nicely is what makes this matchup really, really nice, I think, for Kirby. It's not like super duper winning, but it's a lot easier to deal with. You also have great grounded normal options, but I don't know that Trickster's necessarily even going to be looking for those. We're seeing a lot of just special attacks coming out either way. Dash attack is not a great move from Kirby, but it is providing for Trickster. Good revenge here. Oh, Revenge Hammer Flip is massive. The next move, if he gets it off before Revenge goes down, it's going to be big, big damage. And there it is. That was a 70% up smash almost. 60 to 70% up smash, and it killed at 50%, which is ultimately the big boon of that event.
Yeah. Breaking news, Incineroar is powerful. So now we're seeing a pretty decisive lead being built up for Tristram. More revenge, and the next hit is going to be absolutely massive as we got double revenge. It is going to be
so
a
good.
Down smash. Go ahead and drop the body on him. Tristram right now dominant, and he's not even done. Oh my goodness.
No. That was crazy. The down smash was a hurt box shift. Didn't quite get hit by Kirby's moves, and that Alolan Whip is going to send Kirby off stage for the final time. The next one will kill, but a dash attack isn't going to do it. 3 stocks to 1, and Trickster's got a tall hill to climb. SD is going to help it out. Tristram says, I've got plenty of stock to play with. Let me go for the clip. Can't go for too many more of those before it gets dangerous, though. Trickster off stage once again. What's the closeout?
Yeah, Tristram realizing, I think, at the end that Trickster had made a mistake with this character selection. I think Trickster kind of realized this around the middle of the second stock, because this thing, it feels like a foregone conclusion. Trickster having a tough time getting back to stage with any sort of efficacy, and that is going to be the back body drop, getting the KO off of the top and securing the victory for Tristram, the Incineroar. That is a really solid grappler in a game where they don't often succeed, but they've shown that there is a path to top-level success, certainly in the hands of individuals like SkyJ and Magister, and now Tristram.
Very, very nice. Tristram does get a nice 2-0 for New Bern. As we get into our next game, we've got Luis versus Orion. Luis, in popular pro play, more known for the Palatina, but in high school gameplay, we've got a Luis on Sonic versus Terry. This is not exactly a favorable matchup for Terry, but Ryan is making it look easy, getting all these massive hitboxes out and punishing every mistake that Luis has made. Alrighty. So we've got Ryan on the back foot, 1 stock left. After such an explosive opening, go down 2 stocks, it's heartbreaking. Is able to close 1 out onto Luis, but look at just move. Luis is just going for these hard hits, and is finding a lot of them. Up smash actually clashes with the power dunk. Get up attack takes out the power dunk, so Ryan is once again just kind of running around, trying to find something, swinging for his life, while Luis is just trying to catch up. Catch up to punish, which is exactly what he's doing. This is a big edge guard opportunity for Luis. Can't quite get the spring jump out, but it doesn't even matter because Ryan ultimately, at the end of the day, did not have the resources to make it back. And so we have Luis giving another point over to New Bern before we move into our second game of the match. And we've got Sora versus Sonic this time. We did see a character swap off from Ryan, who was playing the Terry just a moment ago, over to the Sora. I would say this is probably a little bit more favorable for Sora than it is for Terry in this matchup. Slightly bigger hitboxes. You are a sword character. You have some good combo ability, even on a 2-frame air dodge like Sonic. However, I don't think Luis is going to let it go that easily.
I mean, you know that a Sonic is good when it knocks one of the casters out of the call, is all I'm going to say about that. Now, as we go to the Sora pick, I mean, you definitely see the gears turning in the head of Brian, right? Where you know that you need to maintain a little bit of damage, a little bit of that trickery that perhaps you can get. Just pile on whatever you possibly can. But you need to be able to recover, and there are few characters that are quite as floaty as Sora that can dish out damage in the way that they can. So we've seen people succeed with this character, certainly Kameme over in Japan, but I mean, Sonic is one of the meta-defining characters, and for good reason. This guy can stall you out, he can wait all day and make you make mistakes. Meanwhile, you get lured into a mistake all your own, as Ryan with the Keyblade could have unlocked the key to victory here, as 2 stocks apiece now, as Luis evens it up, but Ryan with a statement first stock.
Yep, traded back, of course. We've got 2 stocks and 2 stocks, basically a full reset here. Throwing out the magic is Ryan on the Sora, still throwing it out the wrong way. Can't quite find the right direction, but Luis isn't quite getting the punishes to return.
Still working through and not finding anything just yet, but Luis now, I mean, you at the very least want to show F Smash, right? Because that thing does have ridiculous range. It's been memed upon for years on end now. But the up smash, Luis looking for the mark, but not finding it. But still piling on damage at a respectable rate. I think you need to. I really think that you need to play it like you're playing any other sword. You just wait for landings to punish, and anytime you're seeing this character drift down at any sort of steady pace, you need to be able to take advantage of that. Luis finding that on the second stock, doing well to, find a character that was not fast falling and was able to pounce upon their prey as a result.
That was a good Blizzaga from Ryan getting Luis off stage, trying to find another forward smash. They're just going for hard punishes and hard reads, nothing guaranteed. I think that's totally fine in online play. And again, charging up the forward smash, but Luis was ready to punish it. Unfortunately, it's just too hard to react when that comes out. And Ryan finally connects with one of those forward smashes, keeping up the stocks.
Sora now looking for more, but only finding pain, 77%. And yeah, Luis right now firmly in the driver's seat of this one. And again, you talk about the advantages of having a mobile character, Kevin. Those advantages are coming through in spade, and Ryan is showing us how it's done.
I like the down smashes
Luis
there.
Oh, hang on. Luis and Ryan. Oh no. Well, that's just a shame, isn't it? Oh, they're still going, but we are going to get another matchup between Trickster and Luis. So I'm guessing that Luis won that one. Again, a pretty good matchup considering what we saw in Luis showing us how it's done with the Sonic. This is pretty standard fare in terms of play with the Sonic, I think, right? But it's a really good character for a reason.
I think that was a rage quit, by the way. If I had to guess, the connection actually did fail. That wasn't just like a stream or a visual or a producer bug or anything like that. I think it's possible. Ryan was just over it after that moment. But the stocks also were even enough that I would believe that it wasn't. However, Luis is coming into this next game, indicating that it probably was a W for him against Trickster on now the Lucas, playing, just going around the world with these character selects. I love it.
Still looking through and finding the mark with the F smash, but again, these goodness me, we're seeing some trickery here. If nothing else, from the Trickster, finding a lot of damage. Still looking for that PK freeze, has not been able to establish it quite yet. But at the very least, you want to show it. Some of these projectiles, Kevin, you want to show simply because it's not a. Simply because you want to show them where they're not able to go. And Trickster is able to leverage that and say, okay, you know what? We know that you're the fastest thing alive, but let's see if you really want to go where this PK freeze is about to land, because I can make you land where I want, and I'm able to take advantage with maybe some longer strings, maybe some more technically difficult strings to pull off, but it's better than having you just be able to spin dash and home and attack all willy-nilly while I get to do nothing.
Great up smash. Trickster was not able to find a whole lot when they were playing Tristram earlier on the Pyramithra or on the Kirby, but Lucas is looking really good, especially with how well Luis was doing against Ryan. You know, this is not a small feat. Can't quite find that recovery. I'm not sure he had the distance quite yet to make it either way, but Trickster is still up a full stock and doing some wonderful stuff on this defense.
Yeah, it would have been, I think you're at the outer limits of that recovery, but it's possible, certainly, with the drift that would have come from the PK projectile. Nevertheless, Trickster still alive at 52%, and yeah, the Luis is certainly not out of this. You have the way to make a comeback happen. The homing attack certainly could be the key. PK projectile, a way to space yourself out, but it leaves you vulnerable for quite some time, as Luis just going to air dodge back to the way. And you're talking about things that are maybe bufferable, things that have a lot of end lag, specifically directional air dodges, movement that's done with commands. Those are things that can get you in a little bit of trouble if the opponent knows what they're doing.
Luis feels like he's playing a little bit more honest than Trickster is. Trickster's kind of just throwing stuff out that you know is going to work in an online setting. Luis is trying to go for his like guaranteed punishes, like that run-up up smash we saw a moment ago, trying to punish with forward smash right there, but just unable to let it rip quick enough. Things that just cannot work in the online environment that may or may not work offline. So I think Luis needs to start doing, taking a play out of the look from before, but that PK freeze is fat, and Luis is too high percent to mash out. It's rare. I mean rare that you get a kill screen when PK freeze comes out, so that must have been fairly guaranteed.
That was nutty. And we were talking about how this Lucas has been establishing this from the get-go. You want to throw it out there and make sure that the Sonic knows to, at the very least, respect it. It's an option that can tack on a whole bunch of damage and that you might not be able to react to. I know how to slow you down, and that is to put you on ice. And the Trickster finding the way to do that at the very end, that is clutch stuff, and you got to respect it from this Lucas.
Luis is doing a lot better on this opening here. Just looking for quick punishes, what we call a hit-and-run playstyle, running in with some spin attack, getting some guaranteed damage with maybe a follow-up aerial, and then running out and starting it over. However, Trickster is not letting that happen and is just continuously running up and punishing Luis, not letting him get anything grounded, forcing him into the air, and winning these trades.
And now what you're seeing from Luis is the willingness to just sort of do this ticky-tack damage, and Trickster, again, using that stick almost as a sword, but whatever you can get in terms of disjointed damage that can be applied and leveraged on your part is certainly something that would be of use. But Trickster now maybe a little bit on the back foot, as back throw is going to put Luis into an advantageous state. Trickster able to make it back with a directional air dodge towards the center, but Luis again with the speed to pursue. It's going to be a forward throw that takes Luis off stage now, and certainly level terms, it feels like next big hit will take the first stop.
Forward throw off stage, not quite going to take it. Oh, just misses the PK freeze, but it was a great way to bait out the directional air dodge and then follow up with an up smash. And what a telegraphed play, but ultimately Trickster just downloaded the library card of Luis and got the hardest read of all time.
I mean, you gotta love that though, because the up smash, you have to be able to confirm into it. It's not something that you just sort of get for free. And every now and then, right? Just because you're always underestimating just how big that hitbox is. Lord knows that was my life when I was playing online, is just, oh man, let me just make sure to not get hit by this thing. And lo and behold, I get hit by that thing. That happened with Sonic F Smash too, in case you were wondering, 2 stocks apiece now. But yeah, it's you have to be able to set up with these with those projectiles, with those PK fires, with again those little nickel and dime damage options, and then you wind up with a whole dollar with the up smash. You gotta like what you're seeing from Trickster, who right now holds a pretty decisive advantage.
Yeah, that advantage is just percentage though, which means that Luis can bring it right back around. Great bait on the up smash there. Finds a forward smash to punish. Dash back forward smash, gets it again. Wins for the third one, but was a little bit too slow on the draw as Trickster finds stage position again and possibly a big punish here.
Yeah, he did not need to go for that up smash there, and it cost him a little bit of damage as Luis is going to be on the pursuit, not going to find the F smash. You don't need to go for F smashes all the time. This is why you have tilt stick, my guy. And actually, I kind of wonder if Luis is using tilt stick, because you're not really seeing it all that often. You're seeing a lot of smashes. You're seeing a lot of those big swinging things coming out. And even though it certainly works out in the favor of Luis sometimes, Trickster is going to find yet another one with up smash, timing that spin dash perfectly. And now we are at 1 stock each between Trickster and Luis.
Great up smash. Luis really would like to even up this set count, at least send it to a game 3 if possible. Really trying to force the issue here. I love the sharking underneath, making Trickster hold shield. Trickster's not comfortable doing that. I cannot believe that connected from behind, but Luis still has chances here. Finds the forward air to get stage position back. PK Thunder makes the distance happen, but Sonic is too fast. Trickster gets hit again and is really just trying to find footing, panicking a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets to a situation where they're both in the red numbers, I could definitely see the advantage going to whoever gets the first back throw, because this is the sort of thing that can change the game. It gets you so much, especially from a stage that is so close to the blast zone from ledge. It's back throw from these characters is pretty powerful. I think Luke's is ever so slightly more so, but can you even establish the positional advantage that you need when Sonic is so mobile? You're getting caught with these PK freezes, The up smash to get the KO, perhaps
wow.
not quite. The large ceiling of Town and City coming in handy is the largest in the competitive moveset. And Luis finding the up smash. No ceiling to save you there. It's going to be Luis tying it up at 1.
Already 1-1. This is a nice game 3 situation. I'm excited to see a game 3 right here. I think that we deserve it. We saw one in the very first match that we played, Game Zone versus that guy JC, but this gameplay is just more electric. Both players throwing out some hard read options, some conditioning gameplay here. This is more reminiscent of top level online game.
Yeah, no, we're seeing it. We're seeing it here. They're more familiar with their options as we go to Town and City. Yet again, Trickster saying, well, why go away from the up smash if it's not working? Well, the truth is, you're seeing a lot more success just off of these smaller options. The damage that you're getting off of Nair, if you're able to combine, if you're able to get that on drag down in neutral, that is so effective. It leads into so much, and it is good as a get off me option in the air, but it can be a combo option as well. As Trickster looking for the PK freeze. However, Luis, directional air dodge back to stage and is looking for these hits, but Trickster, again, maybe going for a little bit of a bigger shock at the end, and finds a shock with the PK projectile at the very least to even this up. Though still at 3 stocks, Kevin, this is where things can get a little volatile.
Volatile is right, and with Luis trying to run the stage back and forth, Sonic's feet don't get tired, regardless of whether or not my dogs are barking. Trying to get back to stage, Luis is going to find the spring jump air dodge, just barely makes it back. Really looking for this down smash. I mean, really wants to get it, but Trickster's not going to connect, and we just got a very even, but very high percentage first stock still alive. Finds it with the PK fire to close out the first stock. Luis is going to try to force the issue to get the stock trade back really quickly. Finds a grab. Up throw's not going to kill, but I love the spring jump into the forward air follow.
You gotta love when the dogs appreciate high-level smash play. Forward throw is going to, at the very least, give him a positional advantage. You want this Lucas off stage. You want him uncomfortable, although this is a character that floats through the air, and oh my goodness, Sonic sinks just a little bit faster, as you can plainly see. That could be the difference. That is an own goal that you do not need scored in a Game 3. The up smash is going to eventually take that first stock, but what a hill that Luis has to climb right now. This is a troublesome task as Trickster firmly in the driver's seat, but Trickster trying to put this one on ice. Luis, my goodness, what more can you possibly do? You're getting tagged up by just about everything. Kevin, this is trouble.
Trickster really wants to put some numbers on the board for Washington. Bern took all of the first 3 sets. And he does find it off of an SD, but that does not discount how much work Trickster put in to win that set. Finally bringing home a set for Washington, as we've still got one more to go.
Yeah, it was a rough go of it for Washington, and Trickster maybe finding the level of success that you needed against this, against these characters where you have, Lucas can matchup check you, as we saw. And Link, very much the same kind of character. So Game Zone, perhaps finding a way in against Tristram. Although I will say, wrestling is all about technique. And Tristram, having that in spades, knows how to leverage the tools that the slowest character in the game gives them. And you're not going to win the neutral battles. You're going to lose 70% of the time. But the things that you win, you have an arrow sticking out of you, and you're still getting that Cyclone, the darkest lariat, shining the brightest light for New Bern as Tristram putting the team on the well-defined back of Incineroar.
Indeed, Tristram is looking real strong here. Game Zone's linear game plan is not going to work out when Revenge is there to catch all of the projectiles, and then you're able to get some massive damage like we saw with the Darkest Lariat before, and then from there it's just bread and butter to close out the stock. Revenge into a Alolan Whip, that's 70% off of one move. It's Game Zone's in trouble.
That is rough, and Tristram, double axe handle off the top. I mean, what in the world could you possibly want? Yeah, you got bows and arrows, but I got these 2 guns, and Tristram firing them on all cylinders as revenge, dash attack going to put on 30%. Hey, why not? You got it. And Tristram right now going to trying to make a statement. I can command grab you all I want, and you want to keep using those. Arrows. That's perfectly fine. I'll have arrows sticking out of me like Saint Sebastian. I can still get those KOs on you.
73% on his last stock is game zone. Throwing out the up smash, but Tristram's not falling for it. He's already understood what game zone wants to do. He's already prepared. Air dodges away from every up smash just to find another opening. Game zone's going to have trouble finding the floor again. One up air takes it. The second up air doesn't. Oh, the dash back into a roll and whip to just barely get out of range of the up smash, and then finds the kill with a perfectly timed sweet spot. Tristram knows how to play online.
Yeah, I mean, that's just good fundamental Smash stuff, too. And talk about leveraging the mental advantage that you have garnered, that you have earned at the hands, or should I say paws, of Incineroar. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like Incineroar has opposable thumbs. Nevertheless, this grappler has got game. Tristram realizing that, this is ultimately a defensive game where positioning is king, and now you're seeing what we've got from Tristram is a really good Incineroar, and I think that we have had a revelation with New Bern. Obviously, some good character selection, some good character play. Certainly, Trickster at the very end doing great for Washington to get on the board, but New Bern, Incineroar, Tristram, that is someone to look out for, because that this cat is out of the bag. I think it's no secret anymore. This is someone that you really got to look out for as a threat to win this whole thing.
Absolutely. We saw some amazing gameplay from all four of the teams that we watched today. And, Havelock, Northside, and then we of course had Washington and New Bern. All teams showed great prowess on at least a couple of their players, showing that they can take the other team to game 3. It was well evenly matched. We've got some seasoned players to a degree, at the very least in the online scene, and we're going to see how that continues to carry them out throughout. But that's all that we have for you guys today.
Yeah, and look, we've got a whole lot more to come, certainly in the next week, and we've got Rocket League coming at you this Friday. I said this Friday. It really is tomorrow. I'm not quite sure why I said that, but this Thursday, next Thursday, Thursday after that, we're right back here with more Smash Bros from the heart of the Carolinas. So that's going to do it from us. Dapper Source was our producer in the studio. Alongside Kevin with a K, I'm Stu the announcer. Thanks for joining us for Smash at VESL. We'll see you again. Rage on, everyone, and happy smashing.